Hi, welcome to Smarter Campaigns Candidate Training Video Blogs. I'm Ben Eisenberg, President of Smarter Campaigns. Today, we're going to talk about political slogans. Now, it's standard practice for campaigns to have a slogan. With people's short attention span, you really have to distill your message into a few concise words that clearly describe who you are and why you're running for office. A good slogan tells voters everything they need to know in 9 words. Great slogans do it in less. An example of a great slogan was used by Edwin Edwards in his gubernatorial race in Louisiana in 1991. Edwards had already been governor a couple times and was known for being particularly corrupt. So Louisiana has these crazy primary systems where everyone gets to run and the top 2 finishers face off against each other in a runoff. So what happened was, after the runoff, the top 2 finishers were Edwin Edwards, former governor, and David Duke, former head of the Ku Klux Klan. Now, much to everyone's surprise, David Duke was now in a position where he might actually become the governor of Louisiana. So Edwards needed to find a slogan to fight Duke, but also knew that he couldn't tell voters that he was fair, honest, or had integrity, because everyone knew that he was corrupt. And actually, he wound up going to jail for a while for racketeering and corruption. So how do you convince people that they have to vote for you when everyone thinks you're a crook? The answer is, tell everyone that you are better than your opponent. The slogan that they settled on was, vote for the crook. It's important. Because Edwards couldn't embrace the fact that he was honest or open or fair, everyone thought he was a crook, he embraced it. He inoculated himself. He said, you all think I'm a crook? You know what? You're right. But it's really important that you vote for me because we can't have David Duke, the head of the KKK, as our governor. And in the end, vote for the crook worked, and Edwards won by 30%. Sometimes your slogans can be used against you. In 1964, Barry Goldwater ran for president against LBJ. Goldwater was known for his brand of extreme libertarian conservatism. It was so extreme that, in fact, 1,200 psychiatrists responded to a magazine questionnaire saying that Goldwater's extreme conservatism was a mental illness and that he was unfit for president. It didn't help that Goldwater also used to shave with peanut butter, and there's a quote from him saying, if you don't mind smelling like peanut butter for 2 or 3 days, peanut butter is a darn good shaving cream. Well, this all strung together to form a narrative that Goldwater was a little bit crazy. And to counteract that negative media attention and public criticism, Goldwater chose the slogan, in your heart, you know he's right. Basically saying to people, look, you may think he's crazy about stuff, but deep down you know he's right. However, that quickly led the Democrats to counter, in your guts, you know he's nuts. And in the end, that narrative stuck, and LBJ was reelected president. So sometimes an awful slogan leads to awful results. So in 1844, Henry Clay was the Whig nominee for president, and he was really the prohibitive frontrunner to become president of the United States. His main opponent was a poorly known, obscure Democrat named James K. Polk. And in an attempt to remind voters of the obscurity of Polk, Clay chose his slogan to be, who is James K. Polk? Clay lifted his opponent up from obscurity and made him a household name. Both Polk and Clay had James K. Polk's name on their signs and buttons, an integral part of the campaign. Not surprisingly, Polk won. About a month ago, Australia had parliamentary elections. The Australian Labor Party used the awful, awful slogan, Labor Cares. Well, let's look at that. Labor cares. What do they care about? Are they saying that the LibNat coalition doesn't care about voters? The slogan doesn't say anything about who Labor is, what they believe in, or what they're going to do. Possible alternatives that Labor could have used were Labor works for you, because it's a good slogan because there's so many different layers and levels of meaning. Advance Australia would have been another good one because it's both a play on the national anthem and it expresses succinctly what they hope to accomplish. Instead, Labor's messaging was really convoluted, and in the end, the LibNat coalition won. So It's really essential to have a slogan that really articulates and distills who you are and why you're running. And make sure you think carefully about it though, because while a slogan can make the difference, it can also backfire against you. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Have a great day.